welcome to my podcast. This is like a non-conventional spot that I picked. I've been filming obviously in my car for the last few episodes because the acoustics are great, and also because I'm always on the run, and I feel like the authenticity of my brand is in the fact that I just post up and kind of collect my thoughts until I have like 30-40 minutes to just kind of sit and like talk about everything. So I don't know what you guys are experiencing in the world right now, but I feel like there's a lot of intensity and pressure at once. It's like, it almost feels like a pressure cooker, right? And I feel like it's fully emotional. Like I have personally been I've been pushed the last 2 years, like to a level that like I truly feel like most people would not be able to handle. And the topic that I'm bringing into the world now is mostly about kind of female bullying in workspaces, in friend groups, in any type of situation where there's a woman and another woman. And this is a conversation that I don't see commonly talked about because we always want to be the nice girl. We don't want to be the bitch. We don't want to be the person who's crazy. We don't want to be all of these like adjectives, you know? So I just feel like I've been tapping into this conversation and it's a little bit scary. It feels like I'm really putting my life on the line here because of all of the manipulation and creation of these false fears that exist in young women's minds. This idea that speaking up about your experience, about your emotions, about your truth, even if it includes another person or another woman in the workspace, it's like an off limits topic. And I know why they did that, to preserve that type of workspace. And I'm at a place where I'm just like, I can't handle it anymore. And I know there are a lot of other women who just simply will not tolerate it anymore. We'd rather go do real estate on our own. We'd rather do sales on our own. We'd rather, show up and learn a new skill, learn a new specialty, than put up with environments like that. And it's not even really about the career aspect of this, because these situations and this treatment that we experience as young, beautiful women, it has nothing to do with our intelligence. It has nothing to do with our experience, our talent, our skill set, our family background. Like, please do not let anybody tell you that you're not something special, or that who do you think you are because you don't come from a wealthy family or bloodline. Just like, do not let anybody tell you that, because I've been told that my whole life. I've been in these wealthy circles, from church, from ballet, from camp, from Russian school, from like all of these places, and it was always about power, wealth, bloodline. And I'm just like, now that I got older and people have been like tapping into my value as an individual, like my net worth as an individual, I'm not talking about financial, I'm talking about intellectual, beauty, athleticism. Like, now that people have been tapping into my capabilities, I just feel like I care even less about that system. Like, if a lot of us who have been working hard on the sidelines, perfecting ourselves, are regarded now by these people in power, like, it truly does not matter to us, because we've been doing that all along. Like, so I just want to urge young women, like, continue to hustle, to find your flow, to do your spiritual healing, to work on your personal career, to work on your personal finances, to work on your own family, to work on your health. And if you're doing those things and you're in these toxic situations, you can easily walk away. Like, you're strong enough, you're independent enough, you have enough skills, knowledge, wisdom, you have enough mentors, you have enough support to find other opportunities. And if it doesn't have, if leaving an industry is what you need to do, then you need to do that. You can go into a different industry. It could be, I don't know, distribution. It could be, you could become a waitress just to kind of get away from that space and to develop your feminine energy, to develop your own mindset. Like, I've taken like silly jobs that have been some of the most beautiful jobs, where I met my best friends. And it was always like coming out of a super toxic, super high pressure, zero reward, zero ROI, no return on investment. Like, basically you're working for minimum wage still, and they treat you that much worse. So I'm like, of course I'm gonna leave, And retail has really been my backbone since I was like 20 years old, because in retail you have specific operations, specific tasks that you carry out, and as long as you can carry a customer service conversation, like, you're good. So if you don't know what to do with yourself and you're a woman and you feel like you're being abused in your workspace, find a retail job. It'll be enough for 5 to 6 months to heal yourself out of that space to start looking for other opportunities. I think that's like my strategy. But also, like, I have another strategy that I wanted to share, and it's kind of like a step-by-step thing that I do in spaces. And this is like a social strategy thing that I came up with so that I kind of fly under the radar, but I also am aware and observe what people are saying and doing about me. So if you're like an intern, or you're just starting out in your career, but you're also spiritually minded, you're creative, you're going to not fit in. You're not going to fit in. And like, you have to accept that off the cut. Like, you're not gonna fit in. These meetings will feel like they're going to welcome your opinion, but truthfully, they do not. These are very rigid structures that we're dealing with. And I've seen a few companies that are very open-minded. They're more of like startup environments, or they just encourage innovation, and they encourage at least different metrics than beauty and vanity, which is what most women argue about, which is what most conflict between women is about. It's never about business or sales. It's always about beauty. And that's what kills us. That's what kills ambitious young women. It's the fact that none of this has to do with the actual tangible business results. And I'm someone who's very results driven. Like, I like to see numbers. I loved getting my test back to see what number I got. Like, I'm that type of person. I like to see numbers, because then nobody can say anything. If I have the numbers, if I have the proof to show for what I've been doing, the hours I've been working, then nobody can say anything. So I feel like, I don't know, I just, that's one conversation that I've been like feeling. It's like woman to woman conflict, and that's a conversation that I'm going to be contributing to on my blog specifically, because I feel like these are like essays that kind of just flow out of me to process my own anger. I'm going to be sharing it on Substack also. Like, that's very new for me. I have no idea what I'm doing. Don't expect a lot yet. I'm working on it. And then the other conversation I wanted to have is a spiritually minded conversation. So this part is going to change people's lives, I truly think, because I've been practicing meditation for a long time, 6 years. And I've been doing a lot of energy healing. I've been doing a lot of introspection, psychological work, psychic healing work, self-development, business work, like putting myself out there in the world, handling situations by myself. I'm like a tiny person. Like, I do a lot of things in one day, you know, I truly do. And I was starting to get into that type A obsessive, like blasting music, in that like rat race, survival mode, survival mindset. And I think that I have a solution. I truly do, because this morning I realized it. And you could tell I'm really happy. I'm like, honestly, I just bought this car. I just bought this car by myself. I negotiated the price of this car by myself. My first car that I've bought. I turn 28 next month. And if you don't believe in what I'm saying, like, that's fine. But I feel like the spiritual healing aspect of what I offer the world is non-negotiable, because I've truly given my life, my soul, my energy to spiritual healing work in people and on the planet in general. Like, I think I've truly impacted a lot of lives, and I could say that with certainty. Like, the business stuff, I feel like maybe you could find someone better. Like, whatever, career stuff, you could find someone better. But when it comes to mental health, spiritual healing, and active solutions for integrating energies in your life and like focusing on tasks that matter to you, I feel like I'm your person. So this practice is something I used to do. And because when you start to get abundance in your life, like this is a real problem that young men experience. They start to get all of this money coming in. They're working, they get this money, they're getting this status, and they have no idea what to do with themselves or their energy. And this is a really important discussion, because I've seen my brother's friends, I've seen other guys, I've seen like guy friends, they just like don't know how to handle it. And the main thing here is that you have to learn how to just exist without all of this stuff, because you're getting the validation, you're getting the financial support, you're getting whatever. You have to learn how to just exist with your emotions, and that's feminine energy. So a lot of men need to be doing feminine energy work, which means sitting in silence, which means not doing 500 million things. And I struggle with this too. I get into those like ADHD, like hyper focused states too. Trust me, I do. But I know that eventually there's a time to come down and to ground, relax, and to do all of my like healing practices to get everything reconnected. So I just feel like men need this, but women also need this because we've become like men. Like I think more than ever, I've become more like a man now because I finally let go of that construct of family and marriage. Like, it just doesn't pertain to me right now in my life. So why am I going to fixate on a structure that does not support me? The whole idea of a mental structure is that it should support your life and what you're doing right now. There might come a time and day when I do have to focus on that, but that's not right now. Right now, it's like business, spiritual healing, and art, and monetizing, and also marketing for me. So what I'm getting into here is, if you're doing all of that, like I'm doing a lot of stuff. Like, I think people know that I do a lot of stuff to be who I am. Like, it's exhausting, actually. But when you get into those states where you feel all of this power and this energy, and it's circulating in one place, and you feel like you're going nuts, this is what you do. All you have to do is say, I am free. In this moment, I am free. And everything immediately stacks up. Because it's hot. What these spiritual energies are supposed to be doing in your body is free flowing. So your mind, the goal of your mind is spiritual freedom. That's the goal of this whole existence, spiritual freedom. And when your energies are like this, it's because you have to take your mind back and refocus it where it needs to be focused. So your mind is operating here because you haven't tapped into here, which is, I am free. And every time I say that, I go into a flow state, like, immediately. Like, I live in a busy city, right? So it could always become like that. It always feels like that, right? Like, I'll wake up and I've been having some anger issues. I'm not gonna lie. I really have been having some anger issues, but this fixed everything. Simply saying, I am free. It doesn't matter if you're free from anger, you're free from society, whatever verbal construct you're dealing with, whatever universe of words you're managing, saying I am free liberates you from anything. And I'm a big, like, shortcut person. Like, if I don't have to do the work, I'm not gonna do the work. So that's kind of my way of, if I'm fixated on the material world because I have structures to build in the material world, I also need that spiritual freedom so I can focus on that. But if you're just here and you're not giving yourself that spiritual freedom, you're not going to have the awareness. You're going to fall into addictive patterns. You're going to fall into toxic patterns. You're going to lose confidence. You're going to become very low in confidence. You're going to lose your self-worth. And that's why I urge you right now, whatever you're doing, wherever you are, just say, I am free. It doesn't matter your girlfriend, your wife, your children, society, your job, whatever. Just say, I am free. That's it. And from there, you move in the world. From there, because I also struggle with, like, OCD stuff. Like, for me, like, the dishes for me is, like, annoying, you know? And I didn't do them. So that would be in the back of my mind usually. But saying I am free even liberates me from that. So basically, this very, very powerful affirmation will bring you into a state of alignment immediately. And if I told myself this 7 years ago, I would have saved a lot of nervous system energy, a lot of like anxiety, feeling like something's eating my stomach, like that feeling, like I truly don't wish that on anyone. And that feeling is the result of being in a continuous state of unbalanced energy, and energy that needs to be rerouted throughout the whole body. Because really what you want is your energy to be flowing evenly through your whole energy field, because that's where we feel most balanced and aligned. But if your brain is like this, like, you know that feeling when your brain feels like this and you're like, whatever? That feeling is actually because you're not controlling your mind. You're not controlling your brain. You're not controlling your mind. There are two different parts. There's the brain and there's the mind. There's the neurochemistry, and then there's also the philosophical, ideological, belief-based side of the brain/mind. So handling the mind is all energy healing. Like I know that we've been taught like psychotherapy and therapists, they're super useful in managing emotions and processing things, but I truly feel that psychotherapy and even psychiatry are going to tap into energy healing eventually, because it's a shortcut. It's really a shortcut to a regulated mind and also a regulated body. So this understanding in transcendental psychology that you can surpass your emotions, you can surpass your body, you can control your mind, you can control your body, I 100% believe. Not because I'm a control freak, which I am, but also because it works. I've tried everything under the sun in terms of self-development. Sauna, journaling, running, weightlifting, working, reading. I'm very active. Like, I have a lot of activities. But those activities are not the answer to your spiritual freedom. Your spiritual freedom is the answer to your spiritual freedom, right? So what you're going after, there's a direct route, which is I am free now. You're not going to be free tomorrow. You weren't free yesterday. So how are you going to, because then that means you're living under this line here, which is trapped, right? You're living here under this line, which is trapped. So to get beyond that line, which is not trapped, you have to say, I'm free. That's it. And it's not about a timeline. It's not about past, present, future. It's about right now, you're free. And that's honestly my principle. And I kind of lost it for some time because I've been managing a lot of like money stuff, like car stuff in my real world. So I kind of forgot about that spiritual side of things. And it's just easier to manage the material side when you're spiritually connected. So, I mean, this practice is like crazy. Like it truly works. I want to see people doing it all the time. It brings you back into like, okay, now I know what I need to do. Energy's focused. It's a flow state. And your energies naturally move around that affirmation, because affirmations tell your energy system, which is your subconscious mind, what to do. I'm really big in telling my mind what to do, because otherwise I'll be running rampant. I'm the type of person, like, I'm already way too free. If I didn't tell my mind what to do, I would be running rampant. So I would urge that practice. But also I wanted to go back to the initial conversation, which is the woman to woman conflict. And like, I honestly want to hear people's stories, people's advice, people's opinions on this, because I haven't quite hacked it myself. Like, I'm really struggling with this. Like, I don't usually struggle with like psychological things as much, because I have a lot of clarity on my emotions and my beliefs and my sense of self. So for me, it's been very destabilizing, like seeing like, oh my God, like it really wasn't me in many of these situations. Like, it wasn't because I'm this and that, like these crazy words that I was called. And then it brings up a lot of anger, and female rage is like crazy. Like female rage is insane. Like, it feels like you have like 500 whatever volts of energy running through your body. It's like, it feels like that, and you don't know what to do with it. And I know a lot of women experience this, but nobody talks about it because we're supposed to be polite and delicate and this and that. But when you feel that way, woman or man, this is a non-gender conversation, but I focus on specific things that relate to my personal identity because it's my frame, it's my lens. When you feel like that, it's end game. Like, you have to figure it out. It's end game, because your nervous system can't handle this information anymore. It's time to eject, you know? So my practice is usually like, I'll go to the sauna, I'll go to the gym, and then once I release the physical energy of it, I'll go home and I'll process the mental energy of it. And when you process the physical energy of it, the mental energy comes out a lot easier. So you'll be like journaling, or you'll have these dreams that kind of bring you a lot of clarity in life, that bring you, and sometimes they might be like active dreams, like you're actively working in the dreams. I get those a lot. But the goal here, whatever your process is, you always want to have the intention of healing this issue. Because if you don't have that clear and strong intention of resolution and healing, you're going to get lost. I used to get lost all the time. Like, what am I doing now? I have to do poetry now. I have to set the intention of healing. Like, set this intention that you have to heal this thing right now. And you will. Trust me. I've healed a lot of things in my life. I've healed everything mostly by myself. Set the intention, I will heal this now. And you're going to see that by the end of the week, you have more of a lightness in your heart. You have clarity in your mind. You're more healthy. You want to drink water. You want to exercise. You want to find positive relationships, positive connections in your life. So, I don't know. That's kind of just what I've been feeling, but that's really it. I am working more on my brand now, and it's a little bit more of a different direction than I had hoped originally. I think I dabble with the lifestyle space, but I'm not like a lifestyle influencer, because I feel dead inside when I do kind of like that stuff. It's true though. Like, I truly feel dead inside with like fashion influencer, beauty influencer stuff solely. I think it should be completely integrated into a holistic mind, body, spirit brand. And I feel like people relate to me because I'm not selling you the clothes. Like, it might be my outfit, you know, but I'm selling you healing. I'm selling you valuable advice and wisdom, and lifestyle just happens to be like how I do it, you know? So I'm shifting in that direction. I wanted to do fashion a little bit, which I feel like in the future I'll get into fashion because of the important conversations that I'm starting and because of my personal style. But it's not because my intention is to be the fashion person. I just want that to be clear, because I feel, like I said, that dead inside feeling at like events and like this and that, when no one's actually listening to what you think or what you're saying, I can't handle that, because I always run from those places. I do. So that's kind of the groundwork that I want to set for my personal brand. And like, these are two important conversations that I've been personally processing. It's not like I sat there and I created like a strategy for this. Like, no, this is actually what I, as an individual, as a human being right now in Brooklyn, I'm going to church right now. Actually, I'm going to get some banana bread first. But this is what I've been processing personally. And as a healer, as a businesswoman, and as a writer, I feel like everything is like kind of coming together. And essentially what I've realized is that as a brand or as a person, you're nothing without the important conversations that you start. It's all about the conversation. It's not about how you embellish it, like who you're, you know, selling to. It's about the conversation that you're starting and the belief you have in that conversation and the goal of that conversation, the impact that you want to have, the healing that you want to bring. And I think I've brought my friends, my female friends, a lot of healing just by being strong, by being empowered, by being business minded, but also a spiritual healer. Like, the impact is real. which means that I have to keep going, right? So that's another inspiration. Like if you feel like you have no followers, which I don't have that many followers. I feel like I should have more with the amount that I put out there. But if you feel like you're not getting anything back for what you're creating, it doesn't matter. Like, that's irrelevant. The point is your personal development here, and the actual brand that you're building, and the actual voice that you're developing as an individual, whether you're an artist or a entrepreneur, whatever that is. That voice that you're creating is the true skill and the true goal of what you're doing, and that is what's going to bring you to a successful place. Develop your voice as an individual, and it will change your life. Okay, I'm going to end there. But thanks for tuning in, and if you liked it, please like it. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe. And if you have any other ideas, or you want to hear any other wisdom that's like specific for certain situations in life, then just leave a comment or send me a message, and I'll create something around that. Anyways, have a good day. Bye.